Hello, welcome to Just the Dis, where we talk about Blu-rays. I am doing another little collection update here. Got my new disc box, and it's full. So we're going to talk about what's in the box. And we're going to start with The Last Wave from Umbrella Entertainment, an Australian company. This is part of their new Sunburnt Screens line. This is the first in this new line, and this is a really great movie. This has been previously released by Criterion on DVD. I think there's a German Blu-ray out there of some kind of, it's like a Peter Weir box set. This is directed by Peter Weir, who did Picnic at Hanging Rock, and he's a really interesting filmmaker that I like a lot. And this movie I was recently watching on the Criterion channel, and it was one of those that I was reminded how good it is and how much I hoped there would be a Blu-ray. Now this is what the back looks like. It does say Region B, however, between you and me, I will say that I put this into my US player. Obviously I have a region free player, but I put this in my regular Samsung player, and it played fine. So it's one of those where it says Region B, but apparently will play outside of Region B. But it's a really cool movie. It's like about this lawyer, played by Richard Chamberlain, who gets involved with this case where some Aboriginal men, like one of them is accused of killing another, and the more he gets involved with them, the more he starts to have these like apocalyptic dreams, like dreams of a great flood and seemingly the world almost coming to an end. This all is in Australia, by the way. And it's just a really cool, slow build kind of thing. And Chamberlain's really good in it. It's actually one of my favorite Chamberlain performances. And David Gilpil is this gentleman right here. You'll recognize him from things like Walkabout. He often played Aboriginal characters, and he's a really great actor. And one of the features on here is actually it's a cut down. It says edit from the 1980 documentary David Gilpil Walkabout to Hollywood. So it's like a section of that documentary, which I haven't seen, but this section's about 7 or 8 minutes. And it just focuses on him and talks to him about, his history with acting and how he came to it. And it's really fascinating stuff. There's some other features on here. The only, just so you know, the only feature that I recall being on the Criterion DVD was an interview with Peter Weir. And it was only about 10 or 11 minutes. So it was kind of a low-end kind of features kind of DVD. So we don't have that interview here, but we have a new interview with Richard Chamberlain. It's kind of looks like a Skype or a Zoom call, and he's in his 80s, but he's still with it, and he talks about what he can remember about the film, and that's very cool. There's an interview with producer Jim McElroy and director of photography Russell Boyd, something called David Stratton on The Last Wave, Trailers from Hell, The Last Wave with Brian Trenchard Smith, which is cool. You can look that up on YouTube and check it out. But the transfer looks good to me, and I was really excited to get this as part of their new, like I said, the Sunburnt Screens line. I'm not 100% sure what's coming next, but looks like it's going for maybe kind of a prestige angle. I love Umbrella. I think they're kind of an underrated company, and they put out some really great releases of films that I think have since sometimes gotten other U.S. releases. Like I had first gotten their Blu-ray of Road Games and their Blu-ray of Orca and their Blu-ray of, Man from Hong Kong, but that still hasn't gotten a U.S. release that I know of. But they put out a great Blu-ray of Krull and Razorback, and, they just put out a lot of great stuff. And I like them a lot. And so I was really excited when they announced this new line and that The Last Wave was going to be the first title. So if you haven't checked them out, go ahead and over to Umbrella. I think it's Umbrella Entertainment. .com.au And check out their website. You can order from them there. You might be able to find some of their stuff on eBay, I suppose, but they're a really good company, and I like what they're doing. So I wanted to highlight The Last Wave at the top of this new group. Next up, I've got a couple from Indicator, another company I like and I've talked about. Gosh, there we go. So we have Eve and I, Monster. We'll start with Eve, which stars Stanley Baker and Jean Moreau. And I haven't seen this one. So it's a Region B lock disc. They called her the eighth deadly sin. So as I understand it, this movie is about an author played by Stanley Baker, who's sort of a classic character actor from the UK. Really good, solid guy. And he's an author, and I think he's engaged, and he meets this woman, Eve, played by Jean Moreau, and he's immediately smitten with her, and it becomes sort of a, I don't know if it's like a femme fatale kind of thing, but it's definitely like she's into money, and she's not easy to get, and I don't know. When you say Stanley Baker and you say Jean Moreau, I'm kind of there. And then the capper is it's directed by Joseph Losey, who's a really solid director. He did stuff like The Servant and The Accident, and I actually have a couple of his here that I really like. The Prowler, great noir, written by Dalton Trumbo. Really good stuff. I love that one. And then he has another one called Figures in a Landscape, which I totally highly recommend, with Robert Shaw and Malcolm McDowell. Just two guys on the run. Mysteriously, you don't really know what they're on the run for, and they're being chased by a helicopter, and it's existential and strange and interesting, and I really like this movie a lot. But he also did a movie called Boom with Liz Taylor and Richard Burton, which is bizarre. It was one of John Waters' favorite films, and Shout Factory put that out on Blu-ray after it not being out for a long time. Anyway, Joseph Losey's great, bottom line. Then we have I, Monster, another one I haven't seen, but look who's in it. You got Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. This is an Amicus production, and it is apparently a Jekyll and Hyde story. So I don't need too much more than that. I like the Amicus films. They aren't all home runs for me, but when you have Lee and Cushing in a Jekyll and Hyde story, I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. This one is also Region B locked. Indicator does really great work. I know I've highlighted them a little bit in previous videos, but you got to check them out if you haven't. One of my favorite UK companies, and got some box sets behind me there. I'm a big fan of what they do. This one has a ton of stuff. I should read the Eve features in a second, but new 2K restoration, 2 presentations of the film, theatrical and extended, audio commentary with director Stephen Weeks, that's new, audio commentary with Weeks and film scholar Sam Umland, that's old but ported over, the BEHP interview with Peter Tanner, part 1, 1914 to 1939. That's a 75-minute interview. See, they do this great stuff with these interviews. An archival audio recording made as part of the British Entertainment History Project, which is a great project that they've incorporated into a lot of their releases, which is really cool. Renowned composer Carl Davis discusses his score. That's I, Maestro is what that's called. It's 18 minutes, and that's new. Introduction by Stephen Laws, 6 minutes, brand new. Appreciation by the horror author. And Stephen Weeks at the Manchester Film Festival of Fantastic Films from 1998, about 16 minutes. And then there's some other interviews and stuff. There's Kim Newman and David Flint trailer commentary. I'm into that. While I'm at it, I should just... This Eve edition has another new 2K scan and optional extended ending. Let's see here. Joseph okay. Other Places, 1967. Director Joseph Losey discusses Eve in this extract from the French television program Cinema. Appetite for Destruction, 1972, 5 minutes. Extract from the French television program Tête d'Affiche, featuring star Jean Moreau in conversation with actor France Roche. And then there's another BEHP interview with Reginald Beck, 126 minutes, over 2 hours. That's so cool. And that is an archival recording made as part of that British Entertainment History Project, featuring the editor and regular Losey collaborator in conversation with Alan Lawson. And something called All About Eve, a 19-minute interview with Gavrik Losey, son of Joseph Losey, and A Creation Myth. Sorry, that's also new, 24 minutes, appreciation by film historian and author Neil Sinyard. The Many Faces of Eve, this is also new, 16 minutes, video comparison of the differences between the various versions of the film. A lot of great stuff on these. They really never disappoint. If you see a title you have any remote interest in that Indicator's putting out, you can bet that it's stacked with good stuff. They really do great work. Again, those are both, I think, Region B locked. And I've got some Kino titles here. We'll start with a Boris Karloff movie called The Ape. Never seen this one. But Boris Karloff and what looks to be probably a guy in a suit. Ooh, got a commentary from film historian Tom Weaver, famous for his Universal horror commentaries. Really good stuff. And then, of course, film historian Richard Harlan Smith. He is awesome. I love that guy. Also does incredible commentaries. He's got a really great commentary on the Arrow release of the movie Scalpel, which is a kick-ass movie. Very dark, southern gothic. I don't even want to get into it, but it's a good movie and his commentary is great. So this one apparently has Karloff as a kindly doctor who seeks to cure a young woman of polio through injections of human spinal fluid. And it says spinal fluid is difficult to obtain, particularly as the victim must be alive. When a circus ape escapes and breaks into Karloff's home, he finds the solution to his problems, or does he? This creepy classic was directed by William Nye and co-written by Kurt Siodmak, who did I Walked with a Zombie and The Wolfman. So you got that kind of pedigree. And Richard Carroll, who wrote Five Came Back, which is a really great John Farrell movie that I love. With atmospheric cinematography by Harry Newman. So that's from 1940. I don't know. Could be good for October, you know, if you're into that old black and white kind of horror. Karloff. Next we have one called Picture Mommy Dead. It's got Don Amici, Martha Heyer, Zsa Zsa Gabor. I definitely know this film by title. And as you can see there, it's directed by Mr. Big, Burt I. Gordon himself. He, of course, they mention all his titles on the back here. Amazing Colossal Man, Attack of the Puppet People. I'm a big fan of that one. The Magic Sword, Food of the Gods, Empire of the Ants. You know him. He makes Beginning of the End, I think he did too. Those movies where you have giant animals usually, or giant people. And this one, it says, after Edward Shelby's, that's Don Amici, wealthy wife, Zsa Zsa Gabor, dies in a mysterious fire, he marries Francine, Martha Heyer, the governess of his daughter, Susan, played by the director's real-life daughter, Susan Gordon. So that's Burt I. Gordon's daughter, apparently. Very interesting. It says Francine is only interested in Edward's money, another one of those, and wastes no time spending his inheritance. She then turns her attention to Susan. If Susan and Edward were to both die, the rest of the inheritance would go to Anthony, Edward's cousin and Francine's former lover. Francine and Anthony work out a plot to drive Susan, still haunted by her mother's untimely death, mad. Yeah, so you get like a sort of a thriller, gaslighty kind of thing. It says co-starring Wendell Corey, and a few others I don't know. Anna Lee, who was in Bedlam and Crimson Kimono. Oh, that's cool. Got a commentary by Howard S. Berger and Nathaniel Thompson, a reliable duo. And that's Region A from 1966. Picture Mommy Dead. Next, we have what looks like a nice little disaster movie, SOS Titanic. I thought this was an older movie. Like, I don't know why I thought this was A Night to Remember or something. Like, I looked at it and I was like, oh, that must be an old black and white. And then I started looking at the cast. I'm like, wait a minute. David Jansen, Cloris Leachman, Susan St. James, David Warner, Ian Holm, Helen Mirren. And then I was like, oh, this is from 1979. This is a disaster movie, and one that I have not seen, and I love 70s disaster movies. So I was immediately intrigued by that cast and the idea that it's about the Titanic. Obviously, we know that story. It's been done on film several times. But here's a new take with that cast, and I don't know. I'm definitely curious about this one. I mean, I don't know. I don't need too much more than that. It looks like this has, if you look, a brand new 4K restoration of the theatrical cut, brand new HD master of the TV cut, audio commentary by film historian Evgeny Melodic, and some trailers and stuff there. That's also Region A. But a disaster movie I haven't seen. I'm totally down. It looks good. I love David Jansen. He's always very grizzled and has a very memorable voice, and Cloris Leachman's amazing. And so, I don't know. I'm totally down to check this out. Another Titanic story that I have never checked out before. Got one more from Kino. This is called The Secret Ways with Richard Widmark. Now, what caught my attention on this one is that, I don't know if you can see that there, but it's based on the novel by Alistair MacLean. And Alistair MacLean is a really great adventure, spy-ish novelist. He is responsible for things like Where Eagles Dare, which is one of my favorite Guys on a Mission movies. And he's done, there's a bunch, like, I'm trying to think of all the movies that have been based on his stuff, and there's a few more that, of course, I'm trying to blank on right now, but I always tend to enjoy his plotting. Like, he does a really great job of sort of setting up these kind of incredible plots sometimes, where you have lots of twists and turns, and this one in particular is directed by Phil Carlson, who's a great, sort of noir director. He did 99 River Street and The Phoenix City Story, and oh man, there's a few more. Again, I'm drawing a blank, but I like Phil Carlson a lot. Really good noir director. It says acclaimed filmmaker Phil Carlson directed this espionage thriller based on Alistair MacLean. Oh, Guns of Navarone, that's another one. Oh, Ice Station Zebra, that's his too. Yeah. And starring the great Richard Widmark, who I'm a big fan of, from Pick Up on South Street. Definitely my favorite, although he's really good in Madigan. I like him in Roller Coaster. He's like the grumpy FBI guy, and he and George Segal are always kind of arguing, and it's funny. It says, Vienna, 1956. After Soviet tanks crushed the Hungarian uprising, soldier of fortune Mike Reynolds Widmark is hired to help Professor Jansi, a Hungarian scientist wanted by the Russians, escape from Budapest. Mike and Julia, the professor's daughter, cross the border, posing as journalists, but encounter a problem. The professor is a staunch freedom fighter and doesn't want to be rescued. It says, two of the film's best features are the terrific black and white cinematography by Mutz Greenbaum, who did Night in the City, also with Richard Widmark, and the original music score by the legendary composer John Williams. Wow, this is early John Williams. This is 1961. So that's cool. Yeah, no, I like a good Richard Widmark thriller. And you have a commentary with Howard S. Berger and Steve Mitchell. And the trailer, Region A. So this is new to me. I mean, Kino's putting out so much stuff that there's always new things that I've never heard of before. And this is one, despite being a fan of Richard Widmark, I've never heard of this movie. So Alistair MacLean, Widmark, I'm in. Next up, this one's kind of a discovery, and it's a recent film. I want to say it's from 2019. This was recommended to me by Dirk of the VH Us podcast, which I'm a fan of, and he's a really sweet guy, and he was recommending some stuff on an episode that Aaron Pinn was on. Actually, Aaron Pinn has a great YouTube channel I've talked about before, and it's a really great episode. I highly recommend it. They were recommending horror movies, and this was one Dirk recommended, and I never heard of it. it slipped right by me. I guess it did the festival circuit around 2019, but just kind of got dumped, I guess, on digital and Blu-ray, and it's a lot of fun. There's the cover there, kind of the mayhem that's ensuing in the back. It's very gory. It's very R-rated because it's about a girl. I think she's in late high school, and she has sex for the first time with her previously ex-boyfriend after he comes back from a trip to Mexico. And then I'm just going to spoil a little bit just to give you the hook. She's almost immediately pregnant, and it's not with a human baby. Let's put it like that. And there's a lot of crazy alien stuff and blood and gore, and it's very funny. And my wife and I had a really good time watching this. This was a total little gem of a discovery. So thanks to Dirk for recommending this one. I still want to check out, it has the birth of Snatchers, a behind-the-scenes look, and Unexpected, the Snatchers blooper reel, and commentary with the creators. I want to say Dirk said something about it being based maybe on a web series and they put the movie together, but don't quote me on that. I may be misremembering that. It holds together well as a feature and is definitely the kind of horror comedy that I go for. If you're into that sort of hyper gory, very comedic, silly, but still has fun moments of suspense and grossness kind of movie, it's up your alley, I think. Worth a look. Snatchers. One more from Paramount Presents, Roman Holiday. I picked this one up. Classic with Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn. This, of course, the story of I guess she's a princess, and she's kind of got like a hectic schedule, and she gets sick of it. She kind of takes off, and I guess she takes a sedative and falls asleep on a park bench, and is found by this journalist in Rome. That's, of course, Gregory Peck, and he immediately takes her to his apartment, hides her, and they're figuring out what to do, and he bets his boss that he can get like an exclusive interview with her, but of course, love blossoms, and they go on a little adventure in Rome. It's a classic. It's a movie that a lot of people love. I haven't seen it in a long time, so I was really looking forward to checking out this new Blu-ray. It doesn't mention the... Yeah, here we go. Remastered from a 4K film transfer. No, that's good. It has one new feature at least. New filmmaker focus, Leonard Maltin on Roman Holiday. Can't go wrong with Leonard Maltin. That guy knows a thing or two about movies. I always love hearing him talk about films. I love his podcast. All the interviews he used to do on the Roger Corman DVDs way back. Those were a blast. Anyway, so that's new, but then there's like Behind the Gates, Costumes, Rome with a Princess, another featurette, Audrey Hepburn, The Paramount Years, Dalton Trumbo, From A-List to Blacklist. So I'm excited to watch this again. I might try and talk my daughter into it. She can be a little tricky when it comes to black and white movies lately, but this might be something that could get her on board with Audrey Hepburn, I think. So I couldn't help myself. I had to pick this one up. And last but definitely not least, I was so excited to get my hands on the limited edition from Arrow of David Fincher's The Game. One of my favorite Fincher films. A movie that gets better every time I watch it. Look how beastly this thing is. I know you've probably seen this in other videos, but just giving you a sense of like how big it is in comparison to another disc. It's huge and very heavy, and has a whole bunch of new features. This is Region B locked. You're going to need a multi-region player for it. But, I have my Criterion over here. I just pulled that out too. So now I have both. I'm not going to get rid of the Criterion, although we could do a little Pepsi challenge here if you want. It looks like the new features are on the Blu-ray, and the second disc is the DVD, which seems to have I want to say most of the features from the Criterion, maybe not everything though. Don't hold me to that. But so we got our Criterion, right? And the features on this include new restored transfer. Let's see here. Okay, the big one is the audio commentary by director David Fincher, Harris Savides, actor Michael Douglas, screenwriters John Braccato and Michael Ferris, digital animation supervisor Richard Dr. Bailey, production designer Jeffrey Beecroft, and visual effects supervisor Kevin Haug. That's an amazing commentary. I think that comes from the Criterion Laserdisc, but it's fantastic. I mean, you've got all those voices contributing and telling the story of this movie, and I remember that being one of the early, for a while, not on DVD or Blu-ray commentaries that you could still get on a Laserdisc, and I remember listening to it and really liking it. It says an hour's worth of exclusive behind-the-scenes footage and filmed to storyboard comparisons for 4 of the film's major set pieces, and then it says, let's see here, alternate ending. Oh, the set pieces also have commentary, trailer and teaser with commentary, booklet. So that's, pretty good. What you get with this baby is 2K restoration from the original negative. Now, I don't know if this is the same transfer or a new transfer. I couldn't be sure about that, and I wouldn't want to give you the wrong information, but maybe it's new. I don't know. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. It says 2K restoration from the original negative by the Criterion Collection, supervised and approved by Fincher and cinematographer Harris Savides. Okay, so one of the things that's on here that I'm very excited about, it's got a new audio commentary by critic and programmer Nick Pinkerton. I'm a huge Nick Pinkerton fan. He's done a lot of work with Kino, and he did some stuff, I feel like, with Indicator. He's been around, and he's a really educated, intelligent, clever, a guy who really does his research. I like an off-the-cuff commentary. This is basically an off-the-cuff video, but, he's a guy who comes very prepared and always goes deep on all, I would put him in league with somebody like Tim Lucas, just a guy who's really aware of all kinds of components of the film, actors, screenwriters, set designers, all that stuff. He brings all that to bear on his tracks. They're very well researched and wall to wall, which I like a lot. So I'm looking forward to that. There's something called Fool's Week, Developing the Game, a newly filmed interview with co-writer John Braccato. Men on the Chessboard, The Hidden Pleasures of the Game, a new visual essay by critic Neil Young. Archival promotional interview with star Michael Douglas from 1997. Alternatively framed 4:3 version prepared for home video SD only, with new introduction discussing Fincher's use of the Super 35 shooting format. So that's cool. There's some new stuff on here, and it's worth getting, I could unbox this right now, I suppose, huh? See what's in here. But like I said, it also has that DVD, which I want to say I was looking at and had a lot of the same features as the Criterion. The only thing I hate about unboxing these is when they have the little thing at the bottom, then it just starts falling off, right? But let's just get a look. Oh boy, look at that. Beautiful. This is gorgeous. This thing is just so smooth. Oh boy. So, okay, so we got our Blu-ray on the inside. We got our DVD on the back. And then you've got this amazing book. This is a freaking book. Sorry. Whole bunch of new essays. Actually, they're not all new. Some of those are dated. They're all old. But they're compiled in this book in such a way as to be pretty darn beautiful. Look at this. It's like full color. It's like a Taschen book. This is just... Oh, that's great. Little CRS invitation. Give it to your friends. No, this is beautiful. This is just beautiful. Oh, wow. Yeah, anyway, I hadn't opened that up yet, so I'd forgotten that that's what the back looks like. I'd forgotten that this was a book kind of thing, right? That's just beautiful. Arrow, kudos to those guys. They just do so much good work. I'm such a fan. Anyway, that's kind of it for the new disc box. I've emptied it out for the moment, but hopefully there's some stuff in here that's interesting to you guys. Leave some comments below if you've picked up anything you really like recently, or if you've seen any of these, let me know. Maybe you've gone through this and you can enlighten me. But I'm so glad I got it. I know it's limited to 3,000 units. And deluxe packaging, including a 200-page hardback book housed in a rigid slipcase, illustrated with newly commissioned artwork by Corey Brickley, and Aero Academy Blu-ray, including new bonus features and a UK home video premiere of director-approved 2K restoration. So I guess this, for the UK folks, this is the premiere of that version. Then, oh, this is nice. It says 200-page booklet exclusive to this edition includes a newly commissioned full-length monograph by Bilge Alberry and selected archival materials, including an American cinematographer article from 1997, 2004 interview with Harris Savides by Alexander Ballinger, and the chapter on the film From Dark Eye, the Films of David Fincher by James Swallow. Beautiful. Anyway, I thought that would be a good way to end out this little video. If you like the game, it might be worth tracking down while it's still available. I got it from Amazon UK. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll be back soon with more new discs. Bye-bye.